Boxcars have nice big flat sides, which are perfect for making custom decals, but what about a caboose? This caboose from Lionel's been around since the 1950s. They're still being made, but Lionel has simplified the casting so that they can take advantage of a larger, flatter area for their own graphics. That horizontal band is gone, and a lot of rivet detail has been eliminated too. These are fairly cheap and relatively common on eBay, so I don't feel too badly about changing its originality and making something just a little bit more unique. In addition to the new graphics, I'm going to add some LED running lights to the roof, and these wire nuts will make the installation very simple. The platforms that have the railing and the ladders on either side of the caboose are easily removed by prying these tabs with a screwdriver. I'll just set those aside for reassembly later. I don't want the outline of the original graphics to show through my new white paint, so I'll take the caboose to the sink and remove them completely with a little 400 grit sandpaper. Wet sanding is great for smoothing and cleaning any surface before painting. I'm going to install 4 little amber LEDs as running lights on the roof, and I'm just pre-drilling the holes to the correct diameter, and later on, after painting, I'll install the new lighting and tie it into the caboose's existing lighting by taking advantage of those wire nuts that I showed earlier. Silver Streak was a movie that came out in 1976 and was part action-adventure, part comedy, and also a murder mystery. It starred Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor, and Jill Clayburgh, and the best part was it took place on a train. There was no caboose in the movie, but I decided to decorate one anyway in the fictional rail line made up by the movie's producers, AMROAD. I made these decals in pages, and I want the arrows on both sides to be facing the front. And when I thought of that, I said, well, why not do Chicago to Los Angeles on one side and Los Angeles to Chicago on the other side for the return trip? Pretty clever, huh? And before I cut them out, I sprayed them with a clear coat, a glossy clear coat from Rust-Oleum that matches the glossy paint of the caboose, the red and the white. I'm going to install 4 yellow LEDs on the roof of the caboose, 1 at each corner, and I strip a little bit of the insulation away from each of the wires, the 4 red positives and then also the 4 black ground wires. I twist them all together, and I'm going to solder the 4 red ones into 1 wire, and later I'll do the same thing with the 4 black wires. A little bit of soldering flux will help the solder flow into the strands of the wire, and it turns the 4 into 1 solid new wire. I'm going to add a little bit of insulation, a little bit of heat shrink insulation, just to make it all look kind of pretty before I hook it into the old wiring. This heat shrink insulation isn't strictly necessary, but it does look cool and it gives the whole thing a nice finished appearance. The LEDs are ready to be installed inside the pre-drilled holes of the caboose, and I'll hold them in place with a little bit of hot glue. The original wire nuts are fine for the wire that was used for the incandescent bulbs, but I'm adding 4 new wires to each connection, so I'm going to use a slightly bigger wire nut. It'll hold everything together and there won't be any flickering, and it will look almost as good as if it came from Lionel's factory. Since this caboose was essentially brand new when I started, the reassembly process couldn't be much easier. The paint and the decals, no broken parts to fix, it just all goes back together like it's supposed to. It's refreshing actually, and kind of rewarding. Sweet. Here's the finished caboose, and the whole point of having an engine or a passenger car or a caboose with lights in it is to see what it looks like in the dark. So here it is. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and please subscribe to Bob's Workshop. Take care.